And so, my friends, here we are on a very special day. Not only for these, our young friends who are going to make their first communion today, or their families, but it's a very special day for each and every one of us. Why do you think that is? Why is this day so special? Anyone want to tell me what you think? Remember, there is no wrong answer. Because if you don't answer, I'm going to have to ask your mother and father to give me the answer. So they're hoping that you give me an answer. What makes today so very special? What do you think? Who's going to be brave enough, thank you, to tell us? You can say it nice and loud so everybody hears you.
Mother's Day.
Mother's Day. That's a very good reason, right? Yes. And you see that mother up there? It's her special day today. Anybody know why today is a very special day for the Blessed Virgin Mary? Why? Why? We celebrate her today as Our Lady of Fatima. Did you know that? Of course you did. Of course you did. But let's go back to, it's a special day. It's going to be Mother's Day tomorrow. And then you bought something special for your mother, right? Yes, I know you did. You all did. Why is it special today for you? Okay. Brave soul. Tell us why.
Because we're getting a Holy First Communion.
Say it a little louder.
We're getting a Holy First Communion.
Holy First Communion. How many of you here remember your first Holy Communion? Be honest. Look at that. Look at how many of them remember. Now, I'm going to ask for more honesty. How many of you don't remember your first Holy Communion? Very good. See how honest they are? I can remember mine like it was yesterday, but it's been many, many years. Today is your first Holy Communion. How many times are you going to be able to receive Jesus in Holy Communion? How many?
Once.
Once today. How many times in your lifetime? You want to try? How many times? Want to try? I think come to you, Mom. How many times?
Always, forever.
Always. Every single day. Let me ask you, how many times do you eat each day? How many?
4.
4. And why do you eat so much each day? Okay, anybody else? Why?
Because it's good.
It's good. Because if we didn't eat, what would happen? See,
We would starve to
Would
death.
we'd starve, wouldn't we? So do you know why we should receive Jesus as often as we can? Because if we did not and we do not, then we could, in a way, starve. Not physically, but we could starve because we wouldn't have him in us. He comes to live inside of us. Today is the first day that he's coming to live inside you. When you take him from your hand and put him in your mouth, Jesus is coming to live inside you. Why does he want to do that? He said it in the gospel. Why does Jesus want to spend all the time with you? Anybody? It's a simple word. Why? Who said that? Is she making her first communion? Huh? Say it nice and loud.
Love.
Love. He said love. He comes because he loves you. How much does he love you? More than you can imagine. Yes.
A lot.
A lot. A whole lot. Now, does Jesus only love you sometimes? How many of you think he loves you all the time? How many of you think he loves you even when you do something wrong? Excellent. Keep your hands up. That's true. Do you know many of these older people don't believe that? They don't believe that Jesus loves them no matter what they do. It's always, for all time, that he loves you. no matter what you do, no matter what you don't do. And so when we come, like you're coming today, to receive, and I hope all of you who are going to receive Jesus today can reflect back on your first Holy Communion, to recognize Jesus is coming to you as a very special gift. He's coming here to give you strength, not in your body, but in your mind and in your spirit and in your soul, to give you strength, to let you know you're being loved. And he said, you will love me if you do what? He said it in the gospel today. You will love me if you, what? I know you were meditating on it when I said it, so you can't quite remember it. Well, he said, follow my commandments. Obey is a strong word, isn't it? You obey your parents, you know. Follow the commandments. So what are the commandments? What are the commandments? Jesus took all the commandments. How many are there? How many commandments are there?
10.
There are 10. You all agree? Okay. Jesus took all 10, and he said, you know what? I'm going to take all those and make 2 out of them. 2. Because he knew we couldn't remember all the 10. Okay? So he said, I'm taking them all, and there are 2 commandments. You know that. And the first commandment is, love God. How? With all your
Heart,
and
mind,
and
soul,
and strength.
strength.
To love God with everything you got. See how smart she is? She didn't remember that from her first communion. She remembered that. Love God. And the second one. Oh, the second one is just as important. Because he said, love God and love
Others.
others. How many others?
All.
All others. Love God, love one another. If you do those 2 things, you're keeping the commandments that Jesus told us. Love God and love one another. Now, how are we supposed to love one another? He also said that. Sometimes we forget that. Love one another.
To be nice to them.
Okay. But now I'm looking for as. I'm not sure we got into that yet in the 2nd grade or 3rd grade or whenever your first communion is. Love one another.
Be kind.
Be kind. He said, love God, love one another as you love. Say that. As you love yourself. Isn't that interesting? He said, love God, love your neighbor as you love yourself. Okay, so what do you think the hardest thing is for people to do? You got the answer, don't you? The kids' day, she said, for your kid. We're all kids at heart, aren't we? Love God. You see, what happens is sometimes we forget to love ourselves. Okay? And it happens. And as we get older, it gets more difficult to love ourselves. And that's why we have difficulty loving others. Because we don't love ourselves as much as we should. That doesn't mean thinking we're better than anybody else, does it? Of course not. It means loving yourself. That means never let anybody take advantage of you. Never let anybody make you do anything or something that you shouldn't do. Love yourself means respect who you are. Above all, do you know what your identity is? You know who you are? All of you, you are a beloved child of God. That's what you are, a beloved child of God. And we have to respect that about ourselves. And if we do, we're not going to let anybody take advantage of us. And we're not going to take advantage of anyone else. Because we know who we are. We're all family. We're all beloved children of God. You say, what's that got to do with First Communion? It's got a lot to do with it. Because when we receive Jesus today, or if it's not your first time, but your 100th time, or your 5,000th time, it's to say, yes, Jesus is coming to me because I am a beloved child of God. We need to keep that in our hearts and in our minds and never let anyone take that away from us. Okay? Good? Okay, now my friends, at the end of Mass, I'm going to ask you all to do something special with me for some special people here today. It won't cost you a thing, okay? Not at all, okay? But it's a loving thing that I'm going to ask you to do, okay? Is that fair? Okay. So we go on with Mass now? Okay. Did I talk enough? I wanted to make sure they were all listening. Okay. Now we're going to stand and we're going to profess our faith.